Retinoids, what are they? What do they do? And how do you use them? Vitamin A is necessary for the health of the skin and the hair. So where do you get vitamin A from? You can actually get them from your food, such as green leafy vegetables, i.e. spinach. You could also get them from carrots, tomatoes, beef liver, fish oil, and eggs. When you consume these items, retinol travels through the bloodstream and enters specific cells. So let's get into the skin. Retinol gets converted into retinal, which again gets converted into retinaldehyde and then eventually into retinoic acid. If you were to purchase a product with vitamin A, you are probably most likely purchasing either retinol, a retinol ester, or maybe a retinol aldehyde. And again, it has to go through that conversion process. So what do retinoids do?
I love retinoids, and my favorite ones to prescribe is the first generation, tretinoin. Why? Because it actually can help with acne, pigmentation, wrinkles, but I also like the third generation ones, such as adapalene and tazarotene, and the fourth generation, trifarotene. I love that too. Retinoids are fantastic. I get it. They can be a little irritating, so just start off really slowly, like maybe once a week. Let your skin get conditioned to it, and then increase the frequency, maybe about 3 times a week, 4 times, and make sure you always moisturize, especially in the wintertime.
Retinoids help with skin health. So how do they do that? They can actually help with increasing the epidermis. They help prevent collagen breakdown. They help improve the thickness of the basement membrane, and they also decrease transepidermal water loss. Retinoids have been known in dermatology to help with acne, psoriasis, pro-aging, ichthyosis. So it is definitely beneficial to incorporate retinoids into your routine. So let me show you how you can use it.
I love retinoids over the counter for teens and tweens who have mild acne. Nothing that is moderate or severe because you need something prescription strength. The key is to use a pea-sized amount every other night and make sure that you moisturize in the morning as well as in the evening. The key with acne is not to apply it to each and every single pimple, but to just treat your face globally. If you want to avoid any kind of irritation, do not apply too much because their face is sensitive and it could get very, very dry. Last tip that I always recommend is to make sure your teen or tween is eating healthy, making sure they get enough sleep, and then they should not pick because that's going to lead to scars.
Ideally, you always want to use a pea-sized amount, and you always want to start off slowly. I usually recommend at least using it 2 to 3 times a week, and then always considering moisturizing because it can be drying. Some side effects that individuals commonly complain about is irritation, especially dryness. Dryness around the eyes and dryness around the mouth. Incorporate Vaseline around your eyes and around your mouth to decrease that irritation. Another side effect from retinoids is that if you were to ingest it orally, it can be teratogenic, meaning that it can affect the baby. But if you are applying it topically in pregnancy, there's a lack of evidence that it can affect the baby. My pro tip is to consider using bakuchiol. What is bakuchiol? Bakuchiol is an ingredient that can help with hyperpigmentation, it can help with pro-aging. I definitely recommend it for those who have sensitive skin and those who are pregnant. You know what? Check out my video on bakuchiol. We're going to do a deep dive.
If you look at most of your skincare products, you'll notice that bakuchiol is listed. And why? Because it's anti-inflammatory. It's also great for hyperpigmentation, so it has some anti-aging properties, and it's also antimicrobial.
Ingredients that I would not incorporate with retinoids would be alpha hydroxy acids. So what are alpha hydroxy acids? Alpha hydroxy acids are ingredients that help break up the glue in the skin and then you exfoliate. Examples are glycolic acid, mandelic acid, lactic acid. I would not use a retinoid and alpha hydroxy acids together because they're too irritating. Another ingredient that I would not mix with retinoids would be benzoyl peroxide because it can cause a little bit of irritation and benzoyl peroxide can cancel the retinoid out. The only time that it doesn't do that is when you use a prescription product called Twinio, which actually has been formulated with benzoyl peroxide and tretinoin together. And it's a great product for acne if you could tolerate it. So if you want to use a benzoyl peroxide and retinoid, my pro tip would be to consider using a benzoyl peroxide wash in the morning and then using a retinoid at night. So that way you minimize on your irritation and you're minimizing on canceling those two ingredients. Lastly, vitamin C and retinoids. Another hot one, right? Vitamin C is a fantastic antioxidant. It helps with hyperpigmentation. It helps with collagen production. The list is vast with what vitamin C can do, but you don't want to mix it with your retinoid because sometimes it can be a little bit irritating. My pro tip again, vitamin C in the morning because it can boost your SPF, and then lastly, using your retinoid at nighttime. If you found this information beneficial, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. I'm going to be on here for another hour, so ask me your questions regarding retinoids.